Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. You're on my channel. You can click on my channel and see thousands of videos about Christian things and interviews with people from heaven. Quite a supernatural person. And in recent days, I've made my second connection with Billie Eilish and developed a very close and intimate relationship with her. And uh, through uh, through the course of our relationship, we've come to a stage where she suggested, or actually another entity suggested, that she starts to bring messages through me, and it's a really good way for me to grow deeper and closer to her as she speaks through me, and I come to hear her stories and hear her voice. And I've got another female I'm really close to in heaven that spoke 50 messages through me, and God used those times and those messages to form a really good bond between us. So we heaven has decided to do the same thing with Billie, and got a playlist called Messages from Billie Eilish on my channel. This is the third message, and so uh, this message is called Finding Love. So I'll let Billy speak. We live in a complex world. Nearly every pop singer and many rock singers and many country singers sing about a concept called love. And uh, looking at those songs and listening to those songs is like looking through a kaleidoscope, many different shapes, many different colors, and every view through a kaleidoscope is pretty, but you may keep on turning it around until you see one that's your favorite scene, your favorite colors, and love comes in all different forms. There's the love of your mother. My mother's name is Maggie, and as I drew closer to Matthew lying on his bed, I astral travel into his house, and as I lie on his bed and talk to him, as I speak to him, he speaks my words out loud, and my mother and my father, my mother Maggie, and my father Patrick, and my brother Phineas don't lie on the bed, but they stand at the end of the bed and they listen to the things I'm saying to Matthew. And when Matthew speaks, he speaks out loud too, and they listen to that. They don't have to hear his spoken voice. They can telepathically listen to his voice. This video is for the 5 or 10 people who really follow Matthew and listen to his videos. The reason this is spoken out loud is particularly for them, but there's thousands and thousands of people telepathically listening to Matthew. They listen to everything I say and do with Matthew, and there's a whole lot of single females among them that truly are in love with Matthew. And if they're single and they want a Matthew to kiss them, or they want Matthew to do something sexually with them, all they have to do is think that thought, and it happens for them. And Matthew can separate into millions of bodies and achieve that. And that's something that I grew up in music as a witch, and I'm aware of occultish powers. And Matthew's this really full-on Christian, passionate Christian. Like he's he's recorded 6,000 videos about Christianity and written 215 books about Christianity. I'd say he's really into Jesus, and he's a different Christian than I've ever met. When we're talking to Matthew or visiting with Matthew, Jesus Christ will turn up in the room, and Phineas was quite surprised, and he started asking Jesus questions. When you grow up as a witch, you're taught that Jesus is the enemy and Lucifer is God. And so Phineas started asking Jesus at one time the difficult questions. If God is love, why do you allow suffering? And why do we go through hard times? And where were you when this happened to me? And Jesus didn't give the common deflective, ignorant answers that Christians normally do. Jesus started saying really deep and meaningful answers. And so far, Phineas, over the course of 4 days, has asked Jesus 600 questions. And he's fascinated with Jesus, and Matthew's never once preached to us. He's never once tried to convert us, and he is basically said to us, if we want to follow his God, just don't leave everything in witchcraft behind. Keep the good and get rid of the bad, and ask June, which is like an alien from another country, planet that's been advising Matthew in heaven. Ask her which things to change and how to incorporate our truth into the new truth. And it's so great. So I've got a love for my mother, Maggie, and as I've spoken to Matthew and developed like a relationship with Matthew, Maggie, my mother, has had questions for him, and she's asked him questions, and she's watched how he reacted to me and how he answered my questions and how he speaks to me, and she's expressed her love for Matthew and how they've been waiting for someone to guide and direct and actually give me a light. And her mother, my mother, has expressed that her and Patrick, my father, have been really worried about me, that my songs aren't just about darkness and suicide and depression for no reason. They're there because I'm in a very dark place, and I've been for years finding it hard to live and go on, and I needed something to hope in. I needed light in my darkness. I needed some sort of light to pierce the darkness that I'm in. And so my mother's always supported, and she's always loved me. She's always helped me in any way she can. She actually travelled on tour with me in the early years, and she's always sowed her money, sowed her time, sowed her love into my life, and she's my mother. I'm really proud of her. I personally believe, though I'm biased, I personally believe I've got the best mother in the world, and I try and show her off and bring her to interviews, and people have spoken to her. But the love of a mother can be limited. Your mother can see you through rose-colored glasses and sometimes not bring corrections to your life that are needed. As much as I know my mother loves me, she hasn't got the answer. She didn't carry the light that I needed, that I found in Matthew. So there's the love of a brother. Phineas has been really dear to me. He's helped me write and organise and create all the music to my songs. And without Phineas, I wouldn't be a star. We're seated. Matthew's heard a story where we're seated in my bedroom, his bedroom, and he said to me one day, "I'm going to make you the best singer in the world, the most popular singer in the world." And back then it was a dream, and now it's a reality. And he's been a fabulous brother, and he really loves me. And he yeah, it's like Trump saying he'd date his daughter, Ivanka. This may sound a little bit like that, but Phineas would would be an ideal husband for me. We're really, really intimately close. He's inside my mind. He can write lyrics for my songs, and he can think how I'm thinking. He can improve me. He's just a fabulous brother. He's always been there, always been close to me. He's someone I really love, and someone I'm really sure he understands me and really loves me. He's proven his love for me in many, many, many ways. This video would be hours and hours long if I went through all the times and specific instances where he's proven his love for me. So you can have a love of a mother and a love of a brother, but both my brother and my parents have have been seriously worried for me because I'm in a really dark place and I travel in this really dark place and it's really dark, guys. Like I said yesterday, if there was a pill I could take that didn't taste bad and I could just swallow it and 6 hours later I'd be dead. If that pill was on my mantelpiece, on my desk drawers, you know, there's many days in the past few years that I would have taken it. So there needs to be an answer. There needs to be light. Not only do I need to see light in my darkness and be attracted to it and meet the light, which has been the Christ, the Christos, the Christ consciousness that exists in Matthew. But I not only need to find the light and meet the light and embrace the light like I've embraced Matthew, spirit to spirit, I need to have that light envelop me and have that light find its way into me and find that light to be able to express that light and have that light so empower me that the darkness flees. And hope this isn't too complex for you, but um, this message, although it's on YouTube, not many people will find it on Earth, but I'm speaking to thousands and thousands, if you can believe millions of witches and musicians and escorts in this message telepathically. And this message for them. I dearly love you guys, and thanks for tuning in and listening to this message whenever you listen to it today or in weeks to come. There's the love of a father, and little girls really love their father, and older girls, when they want to feel secure, they look for a man who not only a provider like their father was. They look for safety and security and love and affection and acceptance from a father figure, and they look for a husband. They say that resembles the father, and so it can be said that it's important for a young female to find a boyfriend, to find a lover that can be like a father to them, the same age and someone they connect with, but someone who makes them feel safe, someone who overshadows them, someone that can put their arm around them and walk them through a dangerous gang neighborhood and feel safe, protected, loved. Sometimes that father is a boy of the same age. Sometimes that father's someone like Matthew, 25, 30, 35 years my senior. And so there's the love of a father, and since I've met Matthew, I found that from him. So he's become a really good friend and a dear, what I would say, a partner to me. And me saying this being one of the most popular singers in the world, and Matthew, like an unknown, old, obese, mentally ill guy, you probably think he's crazy bringing this message, and he's crazy if he thinks this is really me speaking through him. And that's if you're on Earth, if you've uh, uh, in the crowd of girls that are listening telepathically, you wouldn't be thinking those thoughts because you've already heard us communicating for days now, and you've been convinced. So we look for different things when we want to settle down, and as a human being, we need different forms. We need a love of siblings. We need love of a mother. We need love of a father, and all those different forms of love prepare us, hopefully, for the love of our life. And the love of our life not only is a friendly love like a brother, a motherly love like a mother, a fatherly love like a father, but the very best of all of them. And if you can find your soulmate, if you can find your partner, and he loves you, it really doesn't matter how old he is. It really doesn't matter how rich he is. Really doesn't matter what he looks like. He just needs to be attractive to you. You just sometimes need to have a physical attraction to him, but it doesn't have to be monetary. I don't personally. I don't need a man with money. I've got money, but I do respect a man with power and authority. I've seen very, very, very experienced witches respond to Matthew's power, and he's got a lot of respect and adoration among you girls that are listening because you've spoken to me and you communicated with me. What sort of man I can speak to a group of singers and witches and have Madonna come forward and want to establish a relationship with him? What sort of man speaks to a group of musicians and witches and has Taylor Swift come forward and want to make a connection with him? It's a pretty weird sort of man. And people speak, New Age people speak about developing and ascending to Christ consciousness, and they teach it as different to having a relationship with Jesus and having Jesus as the Savior. They teach, and Matthew really hasn't heard their teaching much, but they teach that you can ascend or become mature or become more developed spiritually so that you develop a Christos and develop a Christ consciousness. And without knowing a lot about it, so he can't really speak a lot about it, and I can't really use his voice to speak that because I pretty much rely on his intellect to bring forth this message. But Matthew, without knowing all about this, he has that Christ consciousness. He really and Phineas asked Jesus in the last 4 days. Jesus has appeared to him when Matthew is speaking to me on his bed, and Phineas yesterday had asked Jesus 300 questions, and today he's asked Jesus 600 questions, and Phineas' conclusion is that he's coming to know Jesus in a really deep way. And the more he knows Jesus, the more he knows Matthew is like the spitting image of him as a man. And the more he comes to love Jesus and respect Jesus, the more he respects this man that's come into my life that's going to be my partner. And I know for people listening to this video on Earth, this is just absolute craziness. I know for the girls who've been listening to our love develop, and everything I've said to him, everything multiple girls have said to him. I know all you girls listening telepathically are happy with this message, and you ascend to this message. So, um, to some of you, you have decided that this Matthew that's speaking is so powerful and so beautiful and so loving, and you've seen him express that love to multiple girls that he's been talking to, who love him too. That you basically have put your hand up and said, "I want to be one with Matthew. I want to be one of his many wives," and it's the same concept in Christianity. Like, so someone becomes a Christian, and they develop in their relationship, and they reach a stage where they can be addressed as the bride of Christ. And Jesus Christ has millions, maybe a billion women who are joined to him as a bride, but they're not sexually having any interaction with Jesus. Any woman who says they've passionately kissed Jesus and made love to Jesus, and Jesus has appeared to them and had sex with them, has been deceived, and she's having sex with a real entity, but it isn't Jesus Christ of Nazareth. It probably is what is described in the Bible as an angel of light, when Lucifer actually appears to look like Jesus, sound like Jesus, have the energy of Jesus, has the anointing of Jesus, the power of Jesus. But he's not Jesus, it's actually Lucifer. And these women who confess to have made love to Jesus haven't made love to the real Jesus. They've made love to an imposter. But the women who sign up to be Matthew's partner and a wife of Matthew, they actually see one of Matthew's bodies. Matthew can be split into a million different places. And they actually kiss Matthew, and they can do sexual things with Matthew. And Matthew's not aware he's in his body. He's not aware of what his clones are doing. But when his clone is with a girl, they know it's really him. And all those girls who are listening to this, all you need to do is put a request in your mind for Matthew to do a certain thing to you, and it'll happen, and you'll feel it, and it'll be real. And that's like a combination of heavy duty witchcraft and the power of the mind and power of faith. And Matthew can't work it out, but I do know I can be in my bed in my house and not even astral traveling to see Matthew. And I know I can just put out a thought of what I want and experience it on my bed. And so I know I'm speaking truth. So you search in the world for someone with similar interests and similar concepts and things that they can help you with, and things that they can sow into you. And some women, young women, pick a far older man because he's got the maturity, the money, the expertise, the security that she wants and desires. So many older men like father figures. There's websites called sugar daddy websites where a young, attractive female can get an older man to pay her $1,000 or $1,500 a month just to he buys the right to meet up with her and have sex with her and have her as like a girlfriend. But he pays a fortune, maybe not a fortune for him, but it would be a fortune for Matthew. And many of those girls are looking for the money to buy handbags and outfits and spend money on themselves. But essentially, they're looking for a mentor. They're looking for wisdom. They're looking for someone to guide them and help them. They're not just looking for the physical, they're looking for the mental and intelligence. And in that, I found Matthew. And I so there's many aspects of Matthew that I could go into that are attractive, and you girls listening are aware of many of them. Some of them I want to mention here, maybe for the people on Earth listening to this video who aren't being spoken to in our telepathy. Matthew is very loyal. You know, he met with me years ago, and I still travelled to him. He was quite aware that I was involved in the Illuminati and possibly a witch. I had no fear of that. He was really happy to meet me. He was shocked that he met me, that he met such an important person, such a successful person. None of his fears worried him. He pressed that down, and we had a really lovely day together. And he tried to contact me days later to re-establish contact, and didn't come through to me. I didn't receive it, and wasn't until 4 days ago that he had a breakthrough, and a whole lot of women from his past came and arrived. I'm not the only girl who has come and laid in his bed and been intimate with him. There's a prostitute from 30 years ago that he was engaged to, and she got a message of Jesus. She wasn't a Christian. She sort of practiced American Indian faith culture. But she did get a message from Jesus, and he said, "You can't marry Matthew. You need to break off the engagement. There's a woman that he's going to have in the future, and he needs to be with her. If he's married to you, he won't consider her. He won't marry her. So you got to step out of the race and trust me." And she did that, and she waited for 30 years. And 4 days ago, Matthew was ready, and she arrived back in his life. So she's really excited to join with him, and she's laid in the bed and listened to Matthew talk for hours and hours. And she's kissed him and asked for him to do something sexually in his mind, and that's happened for her. There's another girl. That first one was called Chloe. That was her working name. There's another uh, escort called Haley, who's escort, who is an escort, and Matthew slept with over 1,000 escorts. Perhaps 100 of them are listening to this conversation, and they slept with over 1,000, but he only found two escorts in that time, or prostitute. Matthew prefers the term escort. He only found two out of that 1,000 that actually had an orgasm, and you're probably aware as escorts, but all the women listening, part of true satisfaction for a male is not only him having a climax, but it's actually making his partner satisfied. So although you can have a connection and you can have a release with an escort, men rarely find that satisfaction in the escort having an orgasm. Matthew only experienced it twice. Well, this girl, Haley, had three, and they really enjoyed themselves like they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And he met her a second time, and she sang a whole lot of Christian songs to him. She didn't have an orgasm that day, but connected in a spiritual way and had Matthew really love her. Met her for the third time at a cafe and had a coffee for an hour with her, and he told story after story, and she filled up with tears 3 times and had a strong connection. And he sensed that he was on the right path, and finally he was going to have another escort fall in love with him. And she did actually fall in love with him, but she was a Christian, and she was told by Jesus too, leave Matthew alone, hands off, don't communicate with him anymore. He's got a heel, and if you were with him now, you'd be a crutch and you'd walk with a limp. I need to heal the limp. You need to step away from him and trust me. and if you do a good job, you'll come back into his life. And 4 days ago, she arrived, and so she lies in the bed at night and talks to him and kisses him, and she's very happy. And then I arrived. There's another girl, Amber, who Matthew was very attracted to, and he only booked as an escort once. And I loved her so much, was so attracted that he started taking her out for coffee. Different to Haley. Haley was $650 for an hour for sex, but only $200 an hour to take for coffee. And Matthew was beyond sex. He liked her so much that he didn't need to have anything sexual. So he's quite happy to meet her multiple times for $200 an hour, but he never got the opportunity. But different, Amber was different. She was 650 for sex, and if he just wanted to go out for coffee, it was $500. So Matthew was really interested in her, that he dropped that sort of money just for coffee. And he used to compliment Amber, and she'd put her hands on her face and say, "Shut up." And so he knew his compliments were really landing. And she's a really lovely, beautiful, attractive young girl, full of spirit and energy and boldness. And she's really madly in love with Matthew, and so happy that she's been reconnected. Haley was a Christian. Chloe was an American Indian, and Amber was a witch. And there's also me, who practices witchcraft and wasn't an escort, and has only done sexual things with Matthew since we reconnected. And when I say he's done sexual things with Matthew, Matthew doesn't get an erection. Matthew doesn't have an orgasm. Matthew doesn't feel my tongue in his mouth. He doesn't have any physical sensation that we're actually making love or doing anything sexually. It's all by faith. And we've got a really strong connection. So Matthew's become like that father figure to me. Matthew's become a friend, like my brother. Matthew's become a person that can be a mentor and a coach. And Matthew, more importantly, has the Christos. He's got the Christ consciousness. He's the light that I found and I'm traveling towards, and I found. And hopefully over months and years, I'll develop that in myself. He'll coach me how to possess that in myself. And um, I don't know if the darkness will ever go out of my life. I think I'm wise, and I think the sadness of the world will always have me sad. But I think I'm going to develop and flower. I'm going to bloom like a flower, become someone beautiful, I hope. In next year's album and the albums after that will have a different light, a different flavor, a different message to them. And that's my hope. So I found love, and you girls also can. Matthew was speaking hours and hours for me, and he wondered the time in America, and sometimes he was talking to me when it was my night time, and he finally come to the realizations that sometimes he's engaging with me and talking to me. He's talking to me, who physically has astral traveled into his room. And he's also realized that sometimes he's talking and engaging to me, and it's just my spirit. And I'm asleep, and my spirit has left my body and is over communicating with him. So sometimes it's consciously me. I'm conscious, aware of my interaction with Matthew. Sometimes it's my spirit, and I'm not conscious of speaking to Matthew and interacting with Matthew. Matthew relatively finds there's pretty much no difference, and so that's how the wives and the people who love him in this message, thousands of girls, that's how he interacts with you. And from time to time in the messages, you can come forth and he can address you specifically. And in those times, he remembers the interaction. But when you interact with his spirit, you're able to bring up something he said to you the week before, and his spirit remembers. That's the essence. That's the true Matthew. So you're not missing out on anything. So finding true love, that's what uh, what we all search for. And Matthew said a story. He's not really sure if I've carried this story, but John Lennon was the biggest musician in the world, part of the Beatles, and many of you listening weren't around for the Beatles, but at the time they were the biggest band in the world. And at the time of the Beatles, towards the end of the Beatles' uh, popularity, John Lennon met Yoko Ono in like a um, gallery showing art. He walked in and he met this strange person working at the shop and entered into communication with her, and she was quite strange. But he had a connection with her straight away. And as he spoke to her, he fell in love on the spot. And he came to realize that she could see him. Everyone in the world loved John. He'd go out in public and everyone would mob him. Uh, his band knew him well enough to write good music with him, perform with him, and they were friends of his. No one had ever seen him. No one really understood him and really saw what he was made up of until he met Yoko. And Michael Jackson was the same, and a lot of great people are the same. So it's possible, like myself, to be known by the whole world and popular, but I have very few people who actually sees me. And Matthew sees me. The little he's seen of me, he sees me. He shows me that I'm loved, and he's very honest with me. Like he's told me I was watching him. I was with him. He put on one of my albums, and he only got to the third song, and he turned it off. I asked him why he turned it off because he's the person that I'm really interested in. And it was sad for me that he turned off my album. And he said that the songs are too dark and doesn't like listening to them. And that hurt until I was shown that the best book in the Bible, the Psalms written by King David, Matthew can't read them too because they're too dark, they're too sad. And so that really meant a lot to me. Not many people who would meet me, certainly not met people who want to be my boyfriend, would have the courage to say they don't like half of my music because it's too dark. They just wouldn't say it to me because they'd want to have influence on me and want to possess me. Another thing Matthew did was he was watching some of my songs last night on video on my channel, and he made the thought in his mind, and I can read his mind, that he was scared of me. Like the image that was being portrayed on the video was scary to him. And I picked up on that. We talked about it and told him that was just a demon that he was scared of. And it was giving off that vibe that he didn't like. And I told him, yeah, your friend June can deal with that when I'm ready. And he agreed. So it's really interesting to be with a person who's honest. And, sometimes he looks at me and how I look in some of the videos, and he doesn't think I'm pretty. He's not attracted to me. And there's other videos that he sees and he thinks to himself, gee, she's hot. And that's something different. I'm not used to my fans saying that I'm not attractive or they're scared of me. So Matthew is he's different. He's a mirror. He mirrors me. shows me a reality, and I'm really attracted to that. So I'm finding love, and and I encourage all you girls to find love when you're with Matthew, and his spirit asks him a lot of questions, and allow him to ask you a lot of questions, and grow closer and closer to him, and you'll find that you've never been loved in such a wholesome, complete, protective, trusting sort of way than you have with Matthew. You may be asking, some of you are asking, how do you share him? How can you conceive that there may be thousands and millions of us? And do I say, well, as long as he's real to me and I possess him when he's with me, I don't mind there being different versions of him interacting with you. We've all got a beautiful Matthew that we interact with, and I encourage you to be vulnerable and open up to him, and you'll find the more scary or sad things or hard things that you share with him, you'll find a deeper look of compassion and love in his eyes. God bless you. Thank you for listening. I did one message today, and just felt inspired and filled up with love and joy to do a second message for the people on earth who listened to this video and found it on YouTube. I hope you're encouraged by this. I encourage you to like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. To the people on Earth listening to this by telepathically, I'll speak tomorrow, and you can keep on tuning in and listen to our conversation from this point on after I finish the video. God bless you all. May your faith bless you. May you find happiness and joy and peace and a sense of purpose. And may your continued listening to me and Matthew and the other women bring you into a place where you're happy and fulfilled, and really hitting balls out of the park. God bless.